It was. Really, it was. It was. April Fools. The joke that changed everything. Starting off strong with TW out right at the start. There is a trigger warning on today's reading. Someone said that my past look reminded them of David Bowie, so I decided to embrace that even a step further. I also had to get a new updated TW picture for my trigger warning slide. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. Today, we are reading on the full moon in Libra, happening April 12th, 2025, 8:22 p.m. EST at 23 degrees. Calm down. It was just a joke. Interesting. You make others into caricatures, so we'll make you one today. Because the cosmic clown, the fool, knows how to use even the most decrepit, situations as a means to teach philosophical notions. Oh, silent all of a sudden, sitting in the back of the class? You had so many jokes just a few minutes ago. What happened? What happened? Calm down, it was just a joke. Really? Then why did it end your relationship? Why did it end your friendship? Why did the person feel like they had to literally go no contact with you because of your little jokes? Kind of an extreme reaction, a repulsion, if you will, to your energy, to the point that some here have had to actually pull back from you. Four of Pentacles, World, Sun, because it was exposed to them your true character. So, you want to talk about mothers. You want to talk about people's true character. Well, let's talk about yours as well. It's a fair roast. You had the mic. Now it's our turn. Happy full moon in Libra. The truth is coming out in relationships with this full moon in Libra. Libra rules the 7th house. And with full moons, it's a time of expression. It's a time of completion. It's a time of release. It's also a time of exposure because something crescendos. Something could have been made clear to you that someone was split. I'm hearing in their personality. So for some, honk honk, hence why we have TW out today. This person, they might have like an unchecked diagnosis, and I'm not making light of that in any way. But this person feels like they're above therapy. They're above the law. They think that receipts will never be found on them. Like they feel like they're above God. That they can just mock you and laugh at your life purpose and try to tear apart your friendships and your relationships. It sounds a little bit narcissistic. That's what narcissists tend to do. They isolate you from all of your allies, your closest friends and family, and they make sure to eventually, slowly over time, get you to the point that you are sitting in a dark room, alone, no sunlight. But God sees. The universe always sees and knows. Someone could have a C name. 10 of Swords. Okay, we're gonna get 4 cards. Officially, hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. This reading today covers the full moon in Libra happening April 12th, 2025, 8:22 p.m. EST at 23 degrees. Why does this matter to you? Because Libra is the 7th house and Libra has to do with relationships. And today we're talking about the stuff that was done in the dark that is now coming to light because of this moon. So that's why it matters to us. And that's why it wasn't just a joke. It was a power play. And we're better at that. So if you want to play games and if you want to play God, you've come to the right place. Because higher vibrational beings, we do things differently. We play by different rules. We don't have to break people down to get our points across. We don't have to repay evil with evil. We don't have to mock people in order to make ourselves feel better. We have self-love. We have self-respect. And that's something that can't be bought and something that cannot be imitated or copied or stripped down naked in front of a group and laughed at, throwing eggs and tomatoes at somebody in their time of need. But the person that's going to get in the ring with you for real and bring up those receipts for real with you is God, your creator. Time's up. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are outcome magic card. We have the World at the bottom of the deck with the Wheel of Fortune and the Death card and the 8 of Pentacles. Somebody could have stood directly in the way between you and your destined path. And the underworld doesn't take lightly to that. See, these people, they're so innocent. They're so sweet. They think that they work with the underworld. When really, honey, the underworld works with you. And they may cloak themselves by night. You know, they may try to hide their head in the sand or protect themselves from being seen or known. But, you know, who knows it? The darkness itself. And the darkness doesn't play. Something could have happened at work. You could have Scorpio in your chart. If not, it's just an energy of karmics. I was actually going to title this today, The Karmic Joke That Changed Everything, but I just decided to keep it as joke. You know, let's keep it. Let's keep it how they thought this was a joke, right? So let's keep it a joke for us as well. Let's not let this ruin our day. Wheel of Fortune with the World with the Death card. This is karmic. For some past life, unfinished business that needed to be finished, and now case closed. Thank you. In fact, let's just give a round of applause. Thank you so much for revealing your character before we got into bed with you, or before we partnered with you, or before we were friends with you, or before we continued relationship with you. I'm so glad that you revealed yourself to all of us here today, so that we didn't have to go down the wrong path and waste 15 more years of our lives barely getting by because of your little jokes, your little digs, your little negging. Card number 1 is the King of Pentacles. So fancy. So put together. Look at you. Your money can't protect you here. Your reputation, it doesn't matter to us. Down here. The darkness doesn't play, and if we do, it's for keeps. Card number 2 is the Six of Pentacles. You thought no one would ever know what you'd done. You thought no one would ever know the investments that you made, the places you went, the people you were in cahoots with, the energies that you tangled with on a Saturday night. You thought that the collective would never find out because you looked just oh so respectable. So put together. Nothing to make fun of. God sees. Card number 3, the Magician. You posture yourself as a magician in the spiritual realms. But true magicians mock you. You know nothing. The energy that you are connected to uses you as a pawn for their biddings. They're all laughing at you when you walk away. You play God, you think you're bigger than people, when in reality, you're the one being used. Card number 4, our outcome for today is the Five of Cups. Oh! Why the long face? Did someone hurt your feelings? Convenient. Convenient that you get to cry, that you get to wallow in your own pity and suffering. And when it came to us, you laughed and you joked and you manipulated. You slept around and made investments time after time again, thinking you would get away with it. But God sees. We're going to clarify what is already known. Time's up. The karma train just went by. It's time to pay up. You think you can just do all that and not have to pay for it? Those entities that you owe, because the people that you were targeting actually used you to alchemize the energy that you put toward them. They alchemized it. They phoenixed out of the situation. Their ego is true. They have true confidence, so that even when people step on them, they take that, they look at themselves in the mirror, and they rise again. I don't think you'll be so lucky. You're going to be sitting here wallowing, pitying, thinking about everything you've done, but it's just because you were caught. If you were truly repentant, your heart would have been light as a feather, and you would have gone through the other side with ease. Your karma would have been repaid, and we could have closed things out once and for all. But instead, you made a conscious decision to be a fool. And now the collective has risen again. They're off to their next adventure, and you're left here with your debts, and you've come lacking. The entities are coming to your door asking for their money, for their energy, for their magic back, because they know that you're not a true magician. It's like a salesman, you can talk the talk. It's Mercury energy, I've got 4 Mercury placements in my chart myself. And I tend to use my words when I need to defend my friends. And you've crossed a line here. And so we need to check you publicly. Or as you say, just having a little bit of fun. Making a little joke here and there at your expense. Not the same when it's happening to you, is it? Everyone gather round. Let's see what this magician has to say to the class. Clarifying the King of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Five of Cups. For this lovely pink moon, the full moon in Libra. Yes, I noticed that detail. I told you. Mercury. We know what you've done. And we've counted every single wand. And there's 10 of them. That's a lot of karma. It's not looking good. Maybe next time you'll think twice before you use magic and manipulation. And the ones who are chosen by the most powerful energies on this planet to do their bidding. Think about that while you're standing by the shore of your washed up life. India. Could be someone's name, or it's the place. Could be a past life. The joke that changed everything. And for most of you here, this is someone who's been doing this for many years, many centuries, many lifetimes. They're a past life enemy. And they've surfaced once more in this time for you to close things out once and for all. 6 of Cups. I knew I recognized you. Here to make us feel like shit again. How are you? Didn't get your fill in the past life. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, you wanted it to be long, slow, lasting. You wanted that burn to last. No amount of milk could quench your thirst. could make that sting die down, right? That's what you wanted. You wanted this to be lasting, the effects of this to be lasting, to break them down so that they would, for some, do the jobs themselves. So you didn't even have to get your hands dirty. Could never be traced back to you. Queen of Swords? We see who you are. We know who you are. And we're not pleased. It was just a joke. Are you going to walk up to someone of authority and make a joke? Are you going to walk up to your superior and make a joke? You could lose your job that way. You could lose your spiritual position, your gifts that you took so many lifetimes cultivating, the ones that you've been using for evil. Yeah, those are under review. Those gifts are under review because that same eye that you use to see clearly like a hawk, you use it to stalk. But we know what you've done. We know every detail. And you're not getting away with it this time. You can run, but you can't hide. Clarifying the King of Pentacles, we have the Page of Cups. Oh, how sweet. An apology. After everything. You know what they say about a broken plate, right? You can say you're sorry, but it doesn't put that plate back together. So that broken plate, the ones who have been your casualties, all of the pieces of themselves that have been fragmented over time are given up to the universe and carefully placed together using the ancient art, because that's what they are, of kintsugi. The act of putting together a broken object, a plate, a vase, etc., using gold. So the original item, at the end of it all, after everything that happened, no thanks to you, is now more valuable than it was originally because it's filled with gold. Between every little crack, every little break, every little word you spoke, keep your apologies. They're fake anyways. Clarifying the Six of Pentacles, we have the Hierophant. A man of God, I see. So upstanding, so righteous, so impressive. You might fool them, darling, but you don't fool us. The Metamystic show, they say. Well, we show and tell. And we're telling on you today. You didn't pass. Episode 144, interesting number. 144. The 144 That's who you've spoken against. That's who you stepped up to. That's who you drove by. That's who you insulted. That's who you messed with. And when you mess with the bull, you get the horns. It's just basic math. Girl math maybe, but math nonetheless. Better get repenting. Right? Because you're going to be in that liminal space between worlds, making penance for what you've done here in this lifetime. And it's not easily repaid. Because you've been sneaky. You've hidden behind masks, but we know who you are. God knows you by name, as they say. Depends what side of God you're on, though. Yes, God is all loving. But his love, his, her, their, love is like a consuming fire as well. And it consumes your soul. Will you be found? Worthy is the wrong word, even though that's what you placed upon those who have had the not so pleasure of knowing you. Did you use some sort of superiority, some sort of God complex to, over a long period of time, plant seeds of doubt in the minds of the ones who are here to carry out the plans of the Lord, as some of you like to call them? Now, not everybody here is religious. But you know what they say? When the plane is going down, even the atheists pray to God. Queen of Wands? Oh no. You get Queen of Swords today. Clarifying the Six of Pentacles, we have the Three of Pentacles. Oh, and a group effort. Lovely. We'll be taking all of their names. Everyone's complicit in this act. That's just how it works. It's nothing personal. Everyone's on the list. How quaint. Maybe by Christmas, Santa will decide that you won't be getting coal. But we'll see. We'll see how you begin to repay those who you have done wrong towards, and we'll reconvene at a later date and we will assess the situation again. But the people that you have harmed, it's over between you and them. Unfinished business is now finished, but we're not finished with you. You've just begun. Come in, sit down, take your shoes off. We have some things to discuss. Seven years bad luck. What do you think? Clarifying the Five of Cups. the place you find yourself in. I would take the time to reflect so you don't have to do this again. God is a loving God, but God is a consuming fire. And karma's a bitch. Clarifying the 5 of Cups, we have the Ace of Swords. There it is. The shiny reflection of the sword mirroring back yourself. God is a loving God, and God knows you by name. And God understands that all is vanity and grasping for the wind, like King Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes. Or was it Song of Solomon? No, I think it was Ecclesiastes. Well, you tell us. You're so knowledgeable. Magician. Hierophant. You don't see that combination very often. Interesting. King of Pentacles. Page of Cups. So many sides to you. So mysterious. When you're faced with the truth of who you are, we can begin our work. This is not a punishment. This is your chance to redeem yourself in the eyes of your own self, because we understand that you are just acting out of programming of what is actually internalized within yourself, which is a self-hatred. It's a self... We're taking you aside so that you can make amends with yourself. For some of you, you're going through the 12 steps. Others of you, your license might be revoked. For others here, your magician-like qualities, your spiritual gifts, you're losing access to them. At least for a time, until we can see that you can be trusted with that level of authority and power, that you're not going to lord it over people, and you're not going to take advantage of them, that you're not going to collude with other people and disguising it in the name of love, of God, of charity, of good works of some kind. In what world is anything that you've said or done here, the things that we're reviewing currently, in what world are these things considered good works? Man of God, woman of God, we'll let you know. Let us review your case and we'll be back to you. But the real work, it begins here. This is the magic spot. This is that moment of reflection. When you think about what you've done, you're honest with yourself. Because that's really the most important thing here, is that you become authentic, that you become who you really are. You embrace this sword. You look at yourself in the reflection of this sword and you say, that's me. Maybe, just maybe, I was doing all that because I feel like I'm the joke. Whenever you see a bully, especially if they're younger, look at their home life. What does their home life look like? What are their parents like? What is their living situation like? We have compassion here. We take everything into account. Remember how I spoke to you before about the details? Fair is fair. And we look at everything. The scales are neutral. We weigh what we weigh. But we're fair. And so, as you are being observed with a microscope, just like you did to whoever you harmed here and chose to poke fun and speak wrongly upon and manipulate, take people's kindness as weakness, use your authority against people, whether you're a family member, whether you're some sort of spiritual leader, whether you're some sort of, you have your own business or you have money or whatever you do here that made people feel like they could trust you and they could talk to you, and that you would be a listening ear, you'd be a friend, or you'd be a safe person. King of Pentacles, Hierophant, somebody who appears to have good things going in their life. Their manifestations are coming to pass with the Magician. You look like an upstanding individual. Emphasis on the word look. And that's what we're doing here. We're taking a look. We take everything into account. Why have you done what you've done? We're going to trace it back to the root. And we're going to begin there. But you will not be having any more conversations with whoever this is here, at least for a time, until this assessment is complete. So thank you. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. You can't escape this. You've already failed the test. We've already gone through the full cycle multiple times. You've had multiple times, multiple occasions, multiple lifetimes to do it right. But you chose again and again to do the wrong thing. And what is wrong, I know. Well, ask him. He'll tell you. Thank you, everyone, for sitting in on this meeting. I know that this could be challenging for those of you because this person is a loved one for a lot of you here. This is somebody you do love and you care about. This is somebody that you did at one point have feelings for. If this was a romantic partner, if this was a friend, you thought they were your friend. If this was a sibling, you thought you could trust them. If this was a parent, you thought that of course they wanted to see you in your best life. Of course they would never think the things that they've thought here. But here we sit. And it's not for you to be upset, for you to be like, oh, I'm scared for them to get their karma. I don't want them to get their karma. All their karma is just them looking at themselves in the mirror. That's what their karma entails. And that's what we all do. That's what we all are always doing. And now this person, unfortunately, is being forced into a corner. This is not extracurricular. This is mandatory. So this person is going to have to go through with Wheel of Fortune in both decks, their karma. They have to face their karma. They have to face themselves, is really what this is. So there's no need to be worried or afraid. You can pray for this person if you're somebody who prays. You can work on forgiving yourself if you feel like, oh, I don't want to forgive this person. Let that bastard burn in hell. If you have anger toward this person, it's best to focus on yourself again and to love yourself and to forgive yourself for dating this person or trusting this person or thinking this person was your friend, whatever. Because for some of you, this sort of thing has happened so many times on repeat with like different sorts of people throughout your life. And I'm just feeling this energy of some of us being a little bit too hard on ourselves. Like, how could I fall for this again? How could I do this again? How could I date this sort of person again or befriend this person again? Or why did I trust this parent again? They're just coming back in the same energy they always have. You know, why do I keep getting in these karmic jobs that keep paying me less than my worth? You know, why do all these things keep happening? We don't need to be hard on ourselves, guys. You know, the wheel turns, and you're the magicians here in the room. You can take anything that has happened to you, negative or positive, and turn it into something fresh and new, something that you can use to your advantage. And with the Fool that we started off with, you can take a leap in a brand new direction and start again. Not everybody else is so lucky here. This person's trapped and caught between a rock and a hard place, but you're free. You're free even if you have experienced, you know, pain, even if you have felt, you know, a lot of you, this person broke down your self-esteem over time. So some of you have had to go to therapy, or that's advice here if that's something that you feel called to. And therapy doesn't have to be traditional therapy. You know, there's lots of sorts of therapy today, and there's lots of ways to heal, you know. So, Ace of Pentacles, believe it or not, this is actually an opportunity for us to take our lives back and to begin to manifest the reality that we see fit for ourselves, because this is a karmic test for us too. Even if you're the victim in a situation, it's mirrored. It's what do we need to learn as well. Like for us, it could be we need to look out for these certain red flags or forgive ourselves. We're too hard on ourselves. We have absorbed the shock and the impact of this stuff throughout our lives. And we need to just spend more time caring for ourselves, loving ourselves, so that this sort of an energy can't even come within 6 feet of our presence. And treat it like a virus, like it really is, you know, because yes, when you're a light, you're a light. Moths are drawn to the flame, right? All sorts of bugs are going to be drawn to that flame. It's up to us who we let in. And so that's where we take responsibility. It's not about wishing other people get their karma and, oh, they can burn in hell and all that for what they've done to me. It's more, how do we take what has happened here and do our own shadow work, become better people, have stronger boundaries with the Queen of Swords, not just let anybody in our vicinity that we feel uncomfortable by. It's raising our intuition, raising our vibration so that we can sense these things sooner into the relationship, so that we're like, oh, I know that energy. I know you. You seem so familiar. Good to see you again. Great to see you here. I remember you from the last life. Ah, how quaint. See you again. So I'm gonna just, you know, kind of like when you're in a store and you see somebody that you know that you don't want to talk to, you just go to the other aisle and you just keep going, right? You know, maybe if you get caught and they see you from across the way, you give them a little wave and you keep moving. You know, even that I would be weary of, because then they're gonna think that it's an opening. Because for some of these people, they're looking for you because they know they have unfinished business with you. You have unpaid debts together. So, but that's not for us to worry about. Let the underworld take care of that, right? Oh. All right. I love you guys. I know this one was a little more theatrical, but you know me. I also was just like, I gotta get an updated picture of TW here. So yeah, this full moon in Libra, it's it's feeling potent. Whew. Wow. I love you guys. Remember, you can always listen to this show. Just get a little obsidian up here to just absorb any negative energy. You can always listen to the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Yeah, my eyes started twitching on that. And this person, you guys are fine. You guys are fine. I've volunteered to be the spokesperson. But this is real. This is a real thing. And all we can do is just focus on ourselves, right? So you can always listen to the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST. You can always watch The Metamystic Show on my YouTube channel at The Metamystic. I want to thank everybody who donates to support the show. I deeply appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And if you want to book a personal, you can always email me if you want to get a personal reading from yours truly. Much love, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one. Ring on my finger with a lasso on my soul. One thing's required, just forgetting all you know. Nothing's forever and the heavens seldom see. Exchanging bracelets meant little, little, little to me. Will you take the bargain? Or will you wait for your heart to win? Will you read the margins? 'Cause the devil's in the darkness details. Heartbroken traveler across the 7 seas, looking for answers meant little to me. Thought we were soulmates, family, lovers, and friends. Makes me wanna never open up my heart again, again, again. Will you take the bargain? Or will you wait for your heart to win? Will you read the margins? 'Cause the devil's in the darkness details. I know why we met when we did. I know why we spent so many years. I know why we wrecked everything. I know why. 'Cause eagles fly above the storm, and caterpillars take time to transform, and the trees they bloom every year, and the sun will rise again without fear. Will you take the bargain? Or will you wait for your heart to win? Will you read the margins? 'Cause the devil's in the darkness details. The devil's in darkness. The devil's in the darkness. The devil's in the darkness.